How are you doing, math learners? This is your free access math teacher Ash, and welcome to ML with Sir Ash. For today's lesson, we're going to discuss applications involving quadratic equations in terms of solving word problems. So, before anything else, hit the subscribe button and notification bell for you to be updated of these cool, clear math videos just like this. Okay, math learners, welcome to another session here in Math Learning with Sir Ash. Today, we're going to discuss the most essential learning competency-based lesson for Quarter 1, Week 4 of the Grade 9 Mathematics, which is all about word problems involving quadratic equation. So, let us start with the first problem. The length of a rectangular garden plot is 7 meters longer than its width. The area of the plot is 30 square meters. Find the length and the width of the plot. Okay, math learners, this is an application of a quadratic equation. How? Okay, first let us consider that the given problem is talking about rectangles. Okay, a rectangle has a length and the width. Okay, so it has been given that the length and the width. Remember also that in our problem, the area is given. And the area is 30 square meters. If we are talking about area, then the formula is already in our previous discussions when we were in elementary. The area for a rectangle is equal to length times width. So therefore, in order to get the value 30, we just need to have length and width. You multiply them and you have 30. The question is, how do we do that? Okay, the next thing we should do is to consider the relationship of the length and the width in our given problem. It has been said that the length is 7 meters longer than its width. Therefore, if our width is represented as x, then our length will be 7 meters long. So that is x plus 7. Okay? Because the value of the width plus 7 meters, that will be your length. Okay. So now, we will do our solution. We have here the formula and we have here our representation. So what we need to do is to substitute. So we have our area, that is 30. Alright? Our length here is x plus 7. And our width here is x. Now, as you can see, when the two letters are being together, it means multiplication. So that is why I use the parenthesis here. Okay, now let us try to solve. In solving this one, the very basic to do is to transform it into standard form. Okay, so you will multiply this one, okay, distribute it, and that is x squared plus 7x. Then you copy 30 here. Now, we transform it to our standard form. That will become 0. And this will become x squared plus 7x minus 30. Why? Because we transpose our 30. So, we have our quadratic term, our linear term, and our constant term. Now, we already know the 4 different methods in solving quadratic equations. You can use any of those. But in our case, I think the best fit to solve this efficiently and faster is by the use of factoring. Okay, so if we factor this trinomial, we will make two quantities. We factor x squared, that is x and x. We factor negative 30 such that if we add the factors, the answer is positive 7. So that is positive and negative because that is negative, right? Okay. Now, what are the factors of 30 such that if you combine them, the answer is 7. So, let's consider 5 and 6. Okay? That will never give us a difference of 7 or a sum of 7. How about 10 and 3? Okay. So, 10 and 3. Since this is positive 7, therefore, our bigger number is 10 and our smaller number is 3. Why? Because 10 times negative 3, that is negative 30, and 10 plus negative 3, that is positive 7. Okay, now we have factored our trinomial correctly. What is the next step? We will solve them separately. Okay, so we solve the two factors separately. We have x plus 10 is equal to 0, and we have x minus 3 is equal to 0. Transposing them to isolate the value of x, this will become negative 10. And then here, this will become positive 3. Why? Because we transpose it, that becomes 0 minus 10, and that is negative 10. We transpose this one, that becomes 0 plus 3, and that is positive 3. Now, the question is, which of the two is the correct answer? Since we are finding length and width, okay, and we are talking about measurements, one is a positive value and the other is a negative value. This negative value will be discarded. Why discarded? Because there is no negative measurements among distance, right? Okay, so therefore, what we will accept is the positive 3. And since here, x is equal to 3, our x here is the width, therefore that will be 3. Okay? And since our x here is 3, we have for the length x plus 7, that will be 3 plus 7, and that is 10. And since we are talking about meters, then this will become 3 meters and 10 meters. Therefore, the dimensions or the length and the width of our rectangular garden are 3 meters for the width and 10 meters for our length. If you want to check it, 3 times 10, that is 30. Easy, right? Now, let us go to the second example. Okay, math learners, for our second example, Gab and John are planning to repair a house together. Gab thinks that if he works alone, it would take him 5 hours more than the time John takes to repair the entire house. Working together, they can complete the job in 6 hours. If John can work in M hours, how long will it take Gab to finish the job? Okay, math learners, the given here are two boys, right? Gab and John. And they are trying to repair an entire house. It has been said that if they work together, they can finish it in 6 hours. Okay. Now, it has also been said that if John will work in M hours, Gab will finish it in more than 5 hours to John's. Okay? So, therefore, if John is M hours and Gab is 5 more than the time of John, then this will be our representation. Okay, math learners, this is where we will apply the rate of a work. Okay, when we say rate, it means that how much is being consumed to the work. Okay, so this is just like any workers in our real life setting. Now, the payment of the person is based on the number of hours being given, right? Okay, so we will apply the connection to that in this kind of problem. We all know that we are talking about one job, right? Okay, the job of repairing a house. For John, he can finish the job, the one job, in M hours. So, one job per M hours. While for Gab, he can finish one job of repairing a house in M plus 5 hours, where M is the hour of John. And if they work together, they can finish the job in 6 hours. So how do we solve this one? By knowing that they will be working together, that will be plus. And if they work together, the result is one job to 6 hours. Okay? 1 per 6 hours. Now, the question is, what are the hours of John and Gab? Okay. So, what do we do here is this is an example of an equation transformable to quadratic equation, because as we can see here, there's no quadratic equation, right? Okay, but we can transform this into a quadratic equation. How? we will multiply the whole equation by its LCD. So by doing the LCD, we have m plus 5, and we have 6. So that would be 6m. Okay? So what we need to do here is to multiply this LCD to our equation. So we have 6m, m plus 5 is multiplied to 1 over m, this one, plus 1 over m plus 5 equals 1 over 6 times 6m, m plus 5. Okay, now, how do we simplify this one? What I did is just I copy the original given or the original equation, and then I multiply in the left side the LCD and in the right side the LCD. Now, how do we multiply this? This one will be distributed to the numerators. This one will be distributed to the numerators. But there is a better way to multiply this. Before distributing, you can cancel the like terms. Okay? So, since there is an m here, okay, therefore, our factors to be distributed here is only 6 and m plus 5 for the first. For the second, this will be cancelled, okay? And we only have 1 times 6m. Okay? Because m plus 5 and m plus 5 here will be cancelled when this group will be distributed to the second part. Okay? And here, we have, this will be cancelled, so we only have m plus 5. Okay, so now we don't have any denominators. What we need to do here is to simplify the terms. Okay, so 1 times 6, that is 6. So 6 times m, that is 6m. 6 times 5, that is 30. So I'm finished with this part. I will copy the plus. 1 times 6m, that is 6m. Okay. I have here m times m, that is m squared. M times 5, that is 5m. Okay. So now I will simplify the whole equation. This will become 12m plus 30 is equal to m squared plus 5m. Now, as you can see here, that 12m and 30 will be transposed to the left side because we will make this as a standard form of a quadratic equation. So, what will happen? This will be 0. Then, we will copy the m squared and the 5m. And our 12m here, this is positive. When this transpose, this will become negative or minus. Okay. And the plus 30 here will become minus 30. Okay. So, by simplifying, we have m squared, 5 minus 12, that is negative 7m. Okay. Minus 30. So now, what we need to do is to do our factoring method. So we have m squared minus 7m minus 30 is equal to 0. We will make two factors. Okay? And then we factor the first term, that is m and m. We factor the last term. Now, as you can see, if you could still remember our first example, this is just the same as the x squared plus 7x minus 30. The only difference is the variable and the sign here. So if that's the case, then we can use positive and negative. But our negative will be the 10 and our positive will be the 3. And by solving this separately, we have m plus 3 is equal to 0. M minus 10 is equal to 0. This will become m is equal to 10, and this will become m is equal to negative 3. Since there are no negative time or negative hours, so this will be discarded, and this will be our answer for the first value, which is our m. So since m here is John, therefore, John can do the job in 10 hours. While Gab, m plus 5, that is 15 hours. So, we have now our answer for John to finish the job alone and for Gab to finish the job alone. That is 10 hours and 15 hours respectively. Easy, right? Now, let us go to the last problem. Okay, math learners, we are now down to our final problem, and that is, the age of Marlon is 7 more than 3 times the age of Alan. The product of their age is 26. Write an equation that represents the product of their ages and find the age of Marlon and Alan. Okay, math learners, what we need to do here is first we need to consider the names of the people involved, and those are Alan and Marlon. Okay. Alan and Marlon. Now, it has been said here that the age of Marlon is 7 more than 3 times of Alan. So, that is 7 more. When we say 7 more, it means plus 7. Okay. 7 more, 3 times of Alan. Okay. So, therefore, Alan here is the base of our age. So, if Alan is X, then Marlon is 7 more than 3 times the age of Alan. Okay. So, now, another given is also said that the product of their ages is 26. So, the product of the age is 26. So, now, since it has been said that the product, therefore, the solution here is very simple. You will just multiply the two ages, the two age of the two person, okay? So, the age of Alan and the age of Marlon, and the result is 26. So, now, what we need to do here is to just simplify and transform this to the standard form. So, we will distribute this one, and this will become 3x squared, and this will become 7x. Alright. And we have here 26. Then, we transpose our 26. So, that will become minus 26 because this is positive. Okay. Then, we will factor them. Alright. So, since this is 3x squared, the factors are 3x and x. Okay. And since this is negative, that is positive and negative. But this positive and negative here is not yet sure. Because what we need to do here is to trial and error whether we will get the correct answer. Okay, so what are the factors of 26? We could use 13 and 2. Okay, so let's say we use 13 here and we use 2 here. Okay, let's try. If we multiply this, that is 13x. If we multiply this, that is negative 6x. So, negative 6 and positive 13. Negative 6 and positive 13. If you add them, the answer is positive 7. Then, the first trial and error for what we did is correct. Okay. So, what we need to do here is to solve them separately. So, this is 3x plus 13 is equal to 0. While this will become x minus 2 is equal to 0. So, if we solve this one, we transpose that, and that will become positive 2. While here, this will become 3x equals negative 13. You divide both sides by 3 to cancel. And x is equal to negative 13 over 3. Now, the question is, which among the two is the acceptable age? This is a negative, this is a positive. Therefore, this one will be discarded. And this will be our value for x. Now, our x here is Alan. So, that means Alan is 2 years old. Alright? And Marlon is 2 times 3. That is 6. 6 plus 7. And that is 13 years old. And if we try to multiply 2 times 13, the answer is 26. And so, we have answered the problem. So now, this is the time that I will challenge you whether you have understood our topic for today. And here it is. Okay, math learners, I hope you have now a concrete understanding about how to apply quadratic equation in the real-life setting and how it can solve certain problems. If you do have some misunderstanding and confusions on our topic for today, do not forget to put your comments in our comment section below. This is still your free access math teacher, Ash. And always remember, it is fun to learn mathematics if we are together learning. Thank you so much, God bless, and always keep safe. Congratulations, math learners, for arriving to this part of the video. If you think that this video have helped you, click that like button. And if you think that this channel can change the way you see mathematics, do not forget to click that subscribe button and notification bell. Thank you and congratulations.